Today, we're highlighting some of the NFL heroes out there who had to overcome so much in their life.
That's how I normalized a lot of things growing up. Like, I never thought, like, damn, I'm sleeping in a car.
Several of our favorite NFL players have reminded us time and time again that life is not about whether we get knocked down, but rather it's about whether we get back up. So today, here are 10 NFL players with the most inspirational stories on how they made it. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a prime example of how good things come to those who wait. Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jacobs and his 4 siblings grew up without a suitable long-term home for many years. At times, they were homeless, and at other times, they were all forced to live in his father's car together. Jacobs' father had to move the family around different motels while working extensively to keep them together. Jacobs went on to attend Tulsa's McLean High School, and from there, the perseverance would finally pay off. Jacobs worked his tail off and became the star of the football team. He landed a scholarship at Nick Saban's prestigious Alabama program, and the rest took care of itself. Jacobs was a key piece of the 2017 National Championship team, and a superb final collegiate season made him a hot prospect for the 2019 draft. The Raiders ended up drafting Jacobs 24th overall in 2019. After a stellar rookie season that saw him rush for 1,150 yards and 7 touchdowns, Jacobs surprised his dad by purchasing him a house. This right here is exactly why you should never give up. Josh Jacobs' story serves as a prime example of that. Tom Brady. What more can be told about Brady's story that hasn't already been said? TB12 was a decent quarterback during his time at Michigan. Even though the New England Patriots already had a superstar QB in Drew Bledsoe, Bill Belichick opted to spend the 199th selection in the 6th round of the 2000 draft on Brady. And, well, we know how that played out. Brady had to replace an injured Bledsoe in Week 2 of the 2001 season against the New York Jets. And the rest, as they say, is history. Tom never lost the starting job ever again, leading New England to their first ever Super Bowl championship in that very same season. And all he's done ever since is win 6 more Super Bowls and 3 NFL MVP awards, while also setting the all-time records for passing yards and passing touchdowns. Pretty good, huh? Tyrann Mathieu. Playing football against the best in the world is a piece of cake for the honey badger when you consider all the other sad circumstances he had to deal with in his youth. Matthew's mother deserted him at a very young age.
My mother was really young when she had me. My grandfather died. My biological father is in prison for murder.
And so he was eventually raised by his aunt and uncle. Yet, the honey badger persevered, took care of himself in school, and eventually landed a scholarship at LSU. Despite questions about him being undersized, Mathieu was taken 69th overall by the Arizona Cardinals in 2013. Mathieu emerged as one of the game's elite safeties and has pieced together quite the resume. Mathieu climbed the mountaintop by helping the Chiefs to a Super Bowl 54 championship in his first season there. After a 3-year stint with the Chiefs, he came home by signing with the New Orleans Saints in 2022. Life truly is a full circle. Jimmy Graham. The 5-time Pro Bowl tight end had a difficult and sad childhood. Graham was raised by a single mother who left him at the age of 11. Graham was physically attacked time and time again by older kids. There was an instance where 7 older boys beat him up while they were in a van. His mom eventually came back and took Graham in, but he sadly had to deal with the abuse of her new boyfriend. Searching for some help, Graham found comfort at a church youth program. There, he discovered his skills in the game of basketball and eventually earned a scholarship from the University of Miami. Though his background was in basketball, Graham decided to play 1 season for the Hurricanes football team. The New Orleans Saints saw enough and drafted him in the 3rd round, 95th overall in 2010. The Saints banked on his freakish athleticism and let the rest play out. Graham was one of the NFL's elite pass catchers during his 5 years in New Orleans, and he went on to enjoy 3 more productive years with the Seattle Seahawks. This man honestly deserves his own biopic one day. Cooper Kupp. It's hard to believe now, but Kupp wasn't anything close to a hyped-up prospect entering the 2017 draft. He was entering the league as a 24-year-old, which is pretty ancient for rookies these days. He played for the Eastern Washington Eagles in college, which isn't a program that's exactly renowned for producing large quantities of NFL players. Kupp's then-girlfriend and currently wife, Anna, would work full-time so he could stay entirely focused on football. The two became a couple in high school, but Anna headed to Arkansas while Kupp attended Eastern Washington. Wanting to be closer to her boyfriend, Anna ultimately decided to join him at Eastern Washington, even though it meant losing course credits that she couldn't use as transfers. The Los Angeles Rams took the little-known commodity in the third round, 69th overall in 2017. He then broke out as a rookie with 62 catches for 869 yards and 5 touchdowns, helping the Rams to an NFC East Division title. But like a fine wine, Kupp just gets better with age. He had perhaps the greatest single season in NFL history in 2021, racking up 145 receptions for 1,947 yards and 16 touchdowns. Those all led the league, by the way. If that wasn't enough for you, well, he was also named Defensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl 56 MVP, having caught 2 touchdowns in the big game, including the game winner. Adam Thielen. The Detroit Lakes, Minnesota native always dreamed of playing for the hometown Vikings, and it took a ton of determination and resilience to get there. Thielen played college football for the Minnesota State Mavericks, which enrolls around 14,500 students annually. And despite an excellent final season of college ball, Thielen went undrafted in 2013. Yet, finally, the hometown Vikings signed him to a contract. Thielen was waived just before the start of the regular season, only to be brought back into the practice squad. He didn't play at all in the regular season, and he made just 4 combined starts over the 2014 and 2015 seasons. But Thielen turned heads with an epic 2016 preseason, and another late bloomer story would be born. Thielen caught 69 passes for 967 yards and 5 touchdowns that season. He'd followed it up with consecutive 1,000-yard seasons while helping many to an unexpected run to the 2017 NFC Championship game. From small school to undrafted to being cut to the practice squad to future Pro Bowler. Thielen is the ultimate underdog story and a reminder that it's not how you start, but rather how you finish. Dak Prescott. During his second season at Mississippi State, Prescott's mother, Peggy, passed away from colon cancer. Prescott was only 20 years of age at the time of his mother's death. Yet, Prescott remained tough as nails. His courage helped him persevere both physically and mentally over the course of his final 3 seasons of college football. At the 2016 draft, he was taken in the 4th round, 135th overall by the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys starting QB Tony Romo suffered a broken bone in his back during the 2016 preseason, leaving Dallas no choice but to roll with Prescott. And he was more than up to the challenge, earning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors after leading Dallas to 13 wins and the NFC's top seed. In April 2020, Prescott's older brother, Jace, died by suicide. Dak, overwhelmed by the tragedy and the complications of the COVID-19 pandemic, began to experience serious depression and anxiety. He opened up about it before the 2020 season, offering a reminder to everybody out there that it's okay to not be okay.
Did you realize that you were kind of sinking into a depression, or is this the sort of thing you didn't really realize that?
No, for sure.
There and you're going, I haven't felt like this.
No, for sure, I realized it. When you have thoughts that you've never had, I think that's more so than anything the chance to realize it and recognize it, and to be vulnerable about it. And I mean, talk to my family, talk to the people around me, simply as I did at the time. And some of them obviously had dealt with it before. I was able to have those conversations and then reach out further, just to more people. And just, I think, being open about it and not holding those feelings in was one of the better things for me.
Prescott suffered a gruesome ankle fracture in Week 5 against the New York Giants amid a career year, adding more scrutiny to what had already been a very trying year. But he recovered and came back with an incredible 2021 campaign, leading Dallas to the NFC East Division title and their first playoff berth in 3 years. Juju SmithSchuster. Juju and his 6 siblings were abandoned by their father when he was young. His mother eventually found a new man, Lawrence Schuster, who played a significant part in the well-being of the 7 kids. The Giant family could only afford 1 car, so Lawrence would bus to work so that all the kids would get to school, work, and practice. SmithSchuster also had to sleep on the floor quite often as a kid, even revealing that he didn't have his own bed until college, or his own room until he turned pro. In 2020, 3 years after the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him 62nd overall, Juju bought a new house for his family.
One of the first things I wanted to do when I was a kid was take care of my parents. So, as you guys can see, where you guys are standing at right now is you guys' new home. I bought you guys a new house.
Adrian Peterson. When Peterson was just 7 years old, he witnessed his 9-year-old brother Brian die after getting hit by a drunk driver. Peterson's father Nelson also spent 8 years in prison for participating in a criminal ring. The night before the 2007 NFL Combine, Peterson learned that his half-brother Chris Paris was murdered in Houston. Yet, a determined Peterson continued to focus on the gridiron. Well, that determination finally paid off when the Minnesota Vikings drafted AP 7th overall in the 2007 draft. Peterson has only gone on to become the best running back of his era, winning the 2012 NFL MVP award, 3 rushing titles, and earning 7 Pro Bowl nods. Sadly, the tragedies in AP's personal life weren't over after he turned professional. In 2013, Peterson's 2-year-old son died after suffering serious injuries from the boyfriend of the child's mother. But just like with the past tragedies he dealt with, Peterson continued to persevere in the face of adversity, all while piecing together a Hall of Fame-worthy career. DeAndre Hopkins. Just 5 months after Hopkins was born, his father Harris tragically died in a car accident at the age of 25. Harris's widow, Sabrina, had to raise DeAndre and his 3 siblings all by herself. Sabrina worked 2 jobs in order to make ends meet for the family, yet sadly, another tragic event would affect the family forever in 2002. That year, Sabrina came home and saw her boyfriend having an affair with a 24-year-old woman. The woman threw acid in Sabrina's face, and she had to quickly seek medical attention.
I realized that my skin is coming off of my face. I was in a coma for about 15 to 16 days. I was totally blind when I woke up.
The attacker was sentenced to 20 years in prison for assault and battery with intent to kill. The Hopkins family didn't let this series of tragedies ruin their lives, though. Sabrina and the 4 kids stayed close throughout the good and the bad, and DeAndre got his big break when he was accepted into Clemson University. D-Hop became must-watch TV in his final collegiate season in 2012, and it led to his stock soaring as he headed into the 2013 draft. The Houston Texans ended up drafting him 27th overall, and with that, his inspirational story was practically complete. Hopkins has gone on to become one of the best receivers of his era, and he is unquestionably on a Hall of Fame trajectory at this phase of his career. All of the hard work, resilience, and determination of the Hopkins family has finally paid off in the very end. But which other NFL player with inspirational stories should we have included? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.